Great. Welcome to this Mathematics Mastery Primary webinar. I'm Will, and I'm the head of subjects for Mathematics Mastery Primary. Just a little bit about me. I've been a primary teacher and a head teacher since 2010, but now I'm very delighted to say that I lead MMP and work directly with over 400 schools to develop MMP and to really just ensure that our program can have the biggest impact on pupils possible. Really passionate, like my whole team, on giving every single child the opportunity to really love and succeed in maths. Part of my job is to really develop and support the program and support schools, but I also visit schools every week. And in fact, I was in a school just today. And my job is to really make sure that the program is being implemented as impactfully as possible. So this presentation, this is the agenda of what we're going to be talking about today. And it sort of starts with a bit of a story linked to SATs. We're in SAT season. But this presentation isn't primarily about SATs, I promise. But I wanted to start by putting the program in context and really explicitly show how partnering with us can have an absolutely transformational impact on achievement and outcomes. And it's absolutely no secret that our MMP partnered schools do really, really well at the end of their Key Stage 2 assessments. And I want to give you guys some case studies to show exactly how this happens. So we'll hear from a current Maths Mastery teacher who will describe the success and the impact they are seeing with the program, as well as to really understand how this has been made possible. So firstly, who are these high-performing schools? So we here at ARC Curriculum Plus are part of the international children's charity ARC. AC Plus is a not-for-profit organisation, and we're dedicated to supporting teachers in providing consistent, high-quality education that raises attainment across the school. The MMP programme is one of AC Plus's subject excellence programmes across primary and secondary, and we offer lots of different subjects, including maths. Our kind of aim really is to design programs that deliver really immediate impact and then sustained subject excellence. Little bit of history. I'll promise I'll keep this quick, but just to give you context, the program we started in 2012, which actually feels like quite a long time ago now. It started with 3 primary schools within the ARC network, and the ARC schools do continue to have a big role in shaping the program that you'll see. But we are proud to say that we've grown vastly beyond those 3 schools in the 10 years plus that we've been now working. And we now have over 400 primary schools in the MMP family. The advantage of being around so long is that it's been developed over time, and we've really kind of inputted all of the best of the experience over that time and all of the valuable learnings from schools to make it the best program that it can be. As a summary, really, our programs support all pupils to achieve in maths. You can see here that our ARC pupils in particular outperform the national average by 16 percentage points. And we certainly have a diverse number of schools across the country. So we have city schools, rural schools. We've got a cluster of coastal schools in Portsmouth and Hastings. And the results are particularly noteworthy, I think, as ARC has twice as many pupils eligible for free school meals compared to the national average. This success is hard won, and it comes from the fact that we continually learn, and there's an ethos of co-creating the program together with our partner schools, hopefully you guys. And we constantly test what works live in the classroom so that we can make improvements that will have the biggest positive impact. These ARC primaries, who have really been by our side creating the program and really faithfully used the MMP program, they are now the highest performing primary MAT in the UK for SATs outcomes, which is an incredible achievement. And we're really, really proud to have been supporting them in that. So as I said in the introduction, we're going to take a deep dive into the importance of coherence and connectedness in achieving great Key Stage 2 outcomes. But before we do that, we're going to look at a few case studies of primary schools that are doing just that. They're achieving great outcomes both within and beyond the ARC network. Here's ARC Franklin Primary School in West London. Really incredible outcomes across the network. But at ARC Franklin, almost every child achieve the expected standard in their Key Stage 2 maths. And just as context, ARC Franklin has nearly 20% pupils eligible for pupil premium. Similarly, another example of a high-performing ARC school, Isaac Newton Academy in Redbridge. They have 27 pupils eligible, 27% of pupils eligible for pupil premium. As you can see, similarly incredible end of Key Stage 2 SATs outcomes. Um, Graysbrook Primary School. So this is one of our non-ARC schools. We're really delighted that so many of the non-ARC schools that are part of our program also achieve incredibly well in their SATs results. And Graysbrook has a high pupil premium percentage as well, just like our ARC schools. This is Shacklewell Primary School. Again, has above national average proportion of pupils eligible for free school meals. And then Seymour School, wanted to squeeze in a mention of them achieving incredible outcomes. They're part of the Kemnall Academy Trust, and 31% of their pupils are eligible for pupil premium. I could go on. There are so many more impressive schools that I could highlight. But I want to really drill down into the secret, I guess, of those school successes. Starting with, and a huge factor, of course, is the power of high expectations. So none of these schools is happy with the impressive outcomes they get, and they're all striving for more. I was in a school only last week, and I had a really in-depth conversation with the head teacher there about what they could do to shift the percentage of children they have meeting the expected standard to 100%. Can you believe it? They're at 96%. They want to get 100%. And we really spent time together agonizing about how we could shift the proportion of children to that, plus getting their greater depth level up from its currently already impressive 50%. Because we believe that high expectations are absolutely vital, but of course they are just the start. So to actually achieve these ambitious goals for every child, it's an enormous challenge. And the schools that they get really high outcomes, schools like the ones we've just looked at, they all have tried and tested ways of getting there. So in those schools, one of the key characteristics that we see, the common features, every child benefits from 7+ years of coherent, high quality maths teaching. Every child enjoys daily retrieval practice sessions. There are timely interventions to ensure that no child falls behind. So we're going to look at a bit more about how to achieve that consistently high quality maths teaching, what that regular retrieval and effective intervention looks like. But we're going to start by focusing in on the importance of connections and coherence, which really characterizes a good curriculum offer. We know that, of course, there are tricks for the final 50 days before SATs, and our schools do kind of share and support ideas for how to support in that SATs journey. But we all know that the real success is about much more than just year 6 alone. It's high quality, coherent maths education from early years to year 6 that makes the real difference. So I want to share just an example of that sense, that idea of coherence and connectedness, and the importance of that curriculum journey that at AC Plus and with Mathematics Mastery Primary, you will absolutely get. So let's take a look at a question, and this was from one of the previous year's SATs papers a couple of years ago, towards the end of the paper. And we're going to look at the groundwork that was required and I guess the mathematical journey that our pupils embarked on to succeed with this question, which is a fractions question. I'm going to look at like what are the kind of underpinning starting points across that early years to year 6 journey that leads our schools to that success. So this is a slide from one of our early years slide decks. So pupils in early years begin their journey to success through sharing and grouping, and finding half of an amount. In class, they might apply their sharing skills in different contexts, such as distributing sweets among teddies, arranging plastic animals in fields, or allocating balls of wool, for example, for toy sheep. There's a bit of a context in our early years resources around farms and farm animals, but it's really preparing the pupils for the conceptual underpinnings of fractions. As children progress to year 1, the national curriculum guides their learning towards recognizing, finding, and naming a half and a quarter of an object, or a shape, or a quantity. And really here, and you can see the slides that I've put on the screen, the emphasis is on developing a conceptual understanding of fractions as equal parts of a whole. Pupils explore equal and unequal parts before associating the concept of half to a shape or object being split into 2 equal parts. They then might explore 3D objects such as fruits, vegetables, and discuss how these can be cut approximately in half. And that really emphasizes the need for 2 equal parts. So you can see here that the idea of concrete and pictorial representations is absolutely essential at that early phase of learning. It's key to emphasizing, in this case, the concept of equal parts, and it really supports pupils to make connections and to deepen their understanding. Again, all of our resources support with that development of conceptual understanding, and we provide activities that in this case might involve, for example, finding half of a quantity within 20. It might focus on both equal and unequal groups, and there are lots of valuable opportunities for consolidating some basic number sense through comparing numbers as well. So all of our lessons are super rich. Moving into year two, again, this is the fractions journey. Pupils would continue their exploration of halves and quarters. They might expand their knowledge to include fractions like a third, a quarter, two-thirds, two quarters, looking at fractions of a length, shape, sets of objects or quantities. They also start to begin to grasp the concept that two quarters and one half are equivalent. And in this case, you can see clear links should be made between the word half and the action of dividing a whole into two equal parts. And we might use the part whole model that you can see here to connect and support that conceptual understanding. Again, clear connections are also made to emphasize the relationship between numerator and denominator, and that part whole language and representations with a continuing emphasis on equal parts. In year three, again, pupils build on that understanding of part-whole relationships. They might use Cuisenaire rods. We're really passionate about using that manipulative. They use that to represent and describe unit fractions and identify the importance of referencing the whole when describing fractions. They might begin to find non-unit fractions and connect this with their knowledge of multiplication and division facts. And then to secure an understanding of equivalent fractions, pupils will use fraction bars to explore, describe, and explain relationships between different bars on a fraction wall. And then pupils in year three will also solve problems that involve adding and subtracting fractions with the same denominator. And again, big emphasis on using pictorial representations and things like part-whole models like the one that you can see on the lesson slide. So hopefully as we go through, and I'll shoot through the rest of the year groups, you can see how there's that connectedness and coherence through the curriculum that is absolutely vital for building that understanding. Again here, if you're in year four, you'll be familiar with some of these representations, really at this point strengthening understanding of addition and subtraction of fractions with the same denominator. And this then extends in year four to include fractions that are equal to or greater than 1. And we're really passionate here that experiences should go beyond just teaching the procedure of, just add the top number, for example, and that visual and pictorial representation supports that deeper understanding. All of our representations are really carefully chosen. You've seen in the slides fraction bars, Cuisenaire rods, and we really encourage making connections between those visual representations and the more abstract numerical representations as well. Getting into year five, that would cover the mathematical concept of equivalent fractions, which, as you saw, pupils are first introduced to in year two. We really strengthen that and extend to pupils being able to identify, name, and write equivalent fractions of a given fraction. And they would then continue to expand on their learning from 3 and 4 by practicing and adding and subtracting fractions, so they're really fluent through a variety of increasingly complex problems. And then in year 6, which I guess culminates in the SATS test, but by that point, they've really developed their fraction understanding and used some of those early skills of equivalence and simplifying to compare order fractions. Pupils hopefully will have experienced addition and subtraction of fractions with the same denominator, or where one denominator is a multiple of the other in previous years. And we really try hard in the resources that we provide to really highlight the connections of the new learning in year 6 to those previous models that we've seen in years 1 to 5, in familiar contexts, but also increasingly in different or unfamiliar contexts. So hopefully you can see that's a little bit of a snapshot of a journey in one particular area in fractions, and how we really build that connected, coherent curriculum to support that deep understanding of the maths. And yeah, back to that SATS question, those incredible results that we saw, they are the result of that connection and that coherence, and that journey really of at least 7 years. So when we talk about partnering with schools who use our program, it is a commitment to that journey and to embedding the program over time. And that's where we see the biggest impact. Just a few things to pick out from what I've just showed. You'll have noticed the consistent use of same representations across all year groups. That's really important. But also, we're really passionate about language and developing really precise and accurate language that, again, is coherent across EYFS to year six. And they're able to use that language to really connect and apply the ideas that they're learning and then to reason with it in new contexts. Um, but pupils do move between schools, and schools rightly want to see improvement in outcomes in a shorter period of time than 7 years. We get that. So our program also supports year six teachers in many ways to make a real difference in the last year. And we've actually had a real focused look at year six in the last year and have some incredible resources for year six colleagues as well. Okay, so hopefully that's just like a kind of dive into a specific part of our curriculum and our resources. Now I want to explain a little bit about how our partner program works, so how we would work with you as schools to deliver that curriculum. This is our vision. You've probably seen it before. I'll give you a couple of seconds to just read it through. Really closely aligns with the ARC vision, every child succeeding, and we really want to be at the forefront of transforming mathematics education in the UK. We're a non-profit program, and everything we do is driven by that mission to equip and empower teachers so that every child can love and succeed in maths. And I'm sure you are with us on that mission and agree with that mission. A little bit more data, but I think this is really powerful. So this is the impact of the program as a whole, not just on individual schools. And I think it's no exaggeration to say that we have played a really significant role in transforming maths education in England. We participated early days in the 2010s in the steering group for maths, where we worked really closely with the DFE and that early stage development of maths hubs. And through that, we really defined what maths mastery teaching was. And as a result, pupil achievement has steadily improved as those initiatives have taken root. But our mission is not complete because we know that schools just continually need that comprehensive support and it needs to be consistent, constant, high quality maths teaching, and that's what delivers the impact. And we feel that our subject excellence program is the vehicle to deliver that impact. So you can see here, this is some data from our partner schools, the feedback that they give us directly. We've had several, formal EEF sponsored impact evaluations. The earliest one found 2 months of additional progress for schools using our program. We've actually really recently done a kind of refresh and a relook at the impact of our programs. We worked with Fisher Family Trust, and the kind of headline data there was that if you're a disadvantaged pupil in a school that uses our program, you are getting 7 months additional progress compared to a similar pupil in a school that's not using the program. And that is a sensational number, and you can imagine the impact in your school of your pupils who might be in that bracket of disadvantage and the impact that they could have using this program. So really proud of that, and there's more to come. It's continuing. So this is just a little overview of AC Plus more generally. We're part of the ARC Curriculum Plus's suite of subject excellence programs. Again, all of those are driven by the idea that powerful teaching is what changes lives. But we know that to do that, teachers say they need to have strong subject knowledge. They need to use tools that are based on the best evidence-based pedagogies, and they need tools that support them to deliver rigorous assessment and effective planning. Our program is designed to do all of those things, and it's designed to deliver immediate impact and then sustained subject improvement. And I'm going to explain a little bit about that journey, that starting point and what that looks like, and then how that builds over that sustained period that you would be working with us. But I wanted to just give it a bit of colour and share a testimonial from one of our partner schools. So we're going to watch a little video. This is from a teacher called Harriet Deely. She is the deputy head teacher at one of our partner schools, Aldermore Farm. The school joined the programme 4 years ago in 2022, and She will give you a bit of feedback from her perspective about the positive impact she's seen in her school since implementing Maths Mastery Primary. So I'm going to press play, and Kate, do interject if you can't hear anything, but hopefully the sound will work.
Amazing school where every member of staff wants the absolute best for the children. When you walk around all of our corridors, all you see is just really happy children who want to be here, who want to learn and are excited for their future. Maths was a real area for development across our school. Many of our children didn't really like maths. It was not a lesson that they enjoyed. So one of the main things we wanted to do was introduce a maths programme that would allow all our children the opportunity to really enjoy and engage within their maths lessons, and to give all of our teachers the support that they so deserve.
My favourite thing about Mathematics Mastery is the 6-part lesson structure and how it is broken up for the children. We're able to use effective transitions where no second of the lesson is lost to move between those 6 parts of the lesson.
The children are really enjoying it. There's a lot more practical work for them to engage in, and quite often they'll say maths is fun. This lesson was the most fun maths lesson we've ever done.
Every unit is so well structured. It really looks deeply into the maths that is taking place. The CPD videos we have found invaluable at the school. Every time we watch them within year groups, quite often people will be saying, oh, I wish I'd taught like that in the past. I can't believe I didn't. It's just amazing the way they put it all together. It's reduced teachers' workload in terms of they're not having to create lots of slides all the time in different worksheets. It's all there for them.
We are able to focus on how we deliver it rather than what we're delivering.
Using Maths Mastery has really helped us get the consistency across the 3 classrooms. We've adapted how we plan our maths lessons, so we do a lot more collaborative planning now. Our teaching assistants have benefited as well, because I think it gives them the knowledge as well, and they see us using it, and then they're able to model that with the children that they're working with as well. And we now use the same concrete resources across the 3 classrooms.
I have noticed a change in my confidence since teaching maths with the Mastery programme. I'm more confident in what I'm teaching. They provide lots of subject knowledge and ideas for how we teach.
The professional development we've received has been the key to why it's been so successful so quickly in our school, I think.
James has been our delivery lead, and he is really friendly, and no question is a silly question.
He actually sat down with us and we had all those resources, and he was just like as if we were pupil, and he was asking questions, and sometimes that was making us think as teachers.
I've then been involved in discussions about our next steps and where we're going forward, and we really feel supported by the ARC Maths Mastery team to push our journey forward.
Maths Mastery has already transformed the maths at Aldermore Farm.
Greatest change in my class in particular has been their confidence to talk. Using the talk tasks has improved their oracy skills.
They are drawing on their knowledge. They're building, and they're making references back to what they've learned.
When we move on to the next unit, if something to do with last week, they go back and they talk about, oh, Mrs. Gill, that was whole, and this is how we divide. And it's so nice to see that.
Already we can see it in the data as well. For the first time in Aldermore Farm history, we've got a good percentage of children in year 2 getting to greater depth. Well, at the same time, those children who sometimes find different parts of maths quite tricky, they're very much engaged within it and are making excellent progress. We were looking at all the maths lessons across school, and there was a moment where all the children in one class all spoke beautifully in full sentences using really high quality vocabulary. They could express their mathematical thinking so well, and I turned to our head and I said, we're getting there, this is going to be the most amazing school, and she completely agreed, and I know that's how all the staff feel as well.
Right. I think that's a really powerful video, and it sort of talks to lots of the things that we hear consistently from partner schools, the features that really support teachers, and I guess the power of having that partnership between schools and us as MMP coming in and really guiding and supporting and helping schools get the best out of the curriculum program that they're using. Okay, so yeah, I want to sort of talk now a little bit about that implementation piece, how our program is designed, and really unpick those 5 steps that I mentioned in terms of that journey that you would be on as a school adopting our program. So step 1 of that 5-step process is the first step. It's the planning step. When you first join us, you'll receive a structured diagnostic call and your subject expert. James mentioned in the video, he's one of our subject experts. They will help you to prepare an improvement plan to identify areas of focus that they think and you think together will achieve the greatest impact for your teachers. And again, from day 1, it's that partnership that is really powerful. So you'll have a dedicated Maths Mastery primary subject expert from one of our team of educators. They each have a background in maths, and they currently lead maths or currently teach maths as well. So they absolutely get and understand the issues that you might be facing. And what they'll do is they'll help introduce, embed, and then sustain the program over the multiple years to ensure that it has a lasting impact and it grows in impact over those years. Here are some nice thumbnail pictures of some of our subject experts. So again, that first planning stage, you'll have a diagnostic call with one of our subject experts. They will help to identify those key focus areas for maximum impact, and they will start by tailoring that improvement plan. They will then regularly visit your school. A typical school visit will include a joint learning walk with the mastery lead or with the senior member of staff, and they will be looking and observing that program delivery and really supporting you to understand like what's going well, what could be tweaked, what's going to have the biggest impact. You can also use them to model or to deliver some co-planning with members of staff, which is a really popular part of what schools ask us to do, or they could even run customized CPD workshops. We also have regular one-to-one sessions for coaching and mentoring for our mastery lead to really upskill them. And these are really carefully designed to work for each of those stages in the implementation journey. We really encourage schools to get in touch with their subject expert by phone or email whenever you need advice or questions, and we really welcome and value that. No query is too small and no problem is too big. The second step of that 5-step progress is train. So training you guys up, training your staff up. You'll have access to our face-to-face induction training and our cutting-edge online training. That will be provided for your subject lead and for teachers, not just at the start of year, but across the year. And that is designed to get everybody really engaged and immediately build teacher confidence. Teachers and leaders get tailored CPD at the point of need, so it's immediately actionable as well. Our CPD is an example. It supports subject knowledge, pedagogic delivery, curriculum design, and it's actually really flexible. So we have online on-demand sessions that you can access when you need it, or we can arrange practical in-person sessions to really kind of model and demonstrate how to use the program the most impactfully. In fact, let's explore a little bit about what types of CPD are available for your school as part of the program. So firstly, all teachers, your mastery lead and the SLT champion, you would all attend an in-person induction training, and that is a brilliant way to get your team excited and kind of prepared for the journey on the program. All modules as part of that are available online and on demand, and we really encourage participants to revisit them. Then that sustained and ongoing CPD is available at the touch of a button. It's on our My Mastery platform. There is online courses. You can even gain a badge to kind of certify that you've done certain courses, and it's a really good way to kind of evidence professional development or provide evidence for things like MPQs. And alongside this, we offer webinars that support teachers in effective program delivery for the upcoming term. And we do that in a really interactive way with breakout groups that focus on the common challenges that you might be facing in delivering a certain topic or year group. And again, it's a really good opportunity to share practice across schools or trusts and to collaborate together. Your Mastery Lead will receive termly online CPD through the Programme Leadership course, and there is ongoing coaching and mentoring from their subject expert. And they will earn the Art Curriculum Plus certificate in Programme Leadership, and I guess that will provide recognition for them and your school. Your subject expert can deliver CPD training in sessions of your choice during one of their visits. And again, that can be in a staff meeting and really provide kind of bespoke training to meet your school's needs. For each unit of work in the curriculum, we have short videos, and that gives kind of content tutorials, gives like knowledge recaps and refreshes subject knowledge. Particularly valuable is the way that we use those videos to model the task. So actually, what will the teacher be doing in the lesson to have the biggest impact possible? Step 3 is the teach phase. So our curriculum integrated subject-specific CPD, planning, teaching resources, assessments, and diagnostic data really support teachers to then give them the time and space to concentrate on higher value activities. So the idea of our resources isn't to take the thinking out of teaching, it's actually to enable teachers to concentrate on those really important decisions about planning and then content delivery. And we also always see this in schools. It gives a really strong sense of consistency in terms of the maths offer that you see in every single classroom in every single year group. The third subject excellent program component is assessments and data insights. So as part of the package, you'll have access to curriculum linked formative assessments, as well as standardized summative assessments. And this is a really, really powerful part of our program. We've partnered with SmartGrade, and that's a really impactful way to kind of match the curriculum offer that you have with an assessment process that is linked to that curriculum. So you're not testing kids at the end of each term on content that they haven't been taught. So in terms of that assessment cycle, these resources are data-led, and they're available for each unit of work. All teachers have access to pre and post unit diagnostic questions and response signposts. I'll talk through each of these that you can see on the screen a little bit. So the pre-unit quizzes, they're designed to gauge pupils' readiness for the upcoming unit so that all the teachers in your school can teach responsively by tailoring their teaching to address gaps effectively. And that's supported by misconception and response signposts. So if you've done your quizzes and it's highlighted certain things, it will tell you then what to do with that information. We use post-unit quizzes in a similar way, and that's designed to evaluate pupil understanding and to help teachers understand areas of need and what they might need to do next. Here's an example of the standardized assessments that are provided by SmartGrade, and they are used by all of our schools and are consistently reported as something that schools value really, really highly. They're designed to present a picture of your school's progress, and that is comparing them to current national data samples. So they are standardized. They're standardized yearly, and they provide large representative data samples from across our 400 plus partner schools. So you can really benchmark yourself against a big set of similar schools and see how you're doing. So our best practice teaching and learning resources, they provide everything your schools need to deliver the program successfully. We're really confident that from day one, your staff will have access and support to deliver really impactful, engaging, and pedagogically robust maths lessons that then support your pupils' development in the right way. Here, as you can see, I've sort of tried to list out, but there's almost too many things to list. These are the main things. These are the resources that we provide. I'll talk through a few of them in detail today, but I think it's fair to say that these are all built on solid evidence-led pedagogical principles. They're underpinned by what we call the dimensions of depth, which really contextualize that mastery approach. But that can give you the confidence that they are the right things to have the maximum impact. We're really proud that our resources particularly promote oracy. It's come up in the recent curriculum assessment review, promotes oracy, and that's often one of the things that schools say they value most because it's in every single lesson and it really develops pupils' speaking skills. This is one of our most loved resources. It's a unit narrative. This gives on a page an overview of the key learning content covered in a unit. And this is usually designed to be used in co-planning sessions to give teachers that ownership and understanding of their curriculum as a whole. We see teachers using those with senior, more experienced staff to identify key learning. They might highlight different representations or script and practice certain modeled processes. But that on a page kind of summary is a really useful way to see the learning as a whole. And it signposts all of the things that you might need, for example, prerequisite knowledge, the sequence of the lessons, possible adaptations, and also links to all the relevant CPD videos that we provide as well. Six-part lesson structure is something you've probably heard about with MMP. It's one of our kind of signature pedagogical approaches. It's unique. It allows teachers to take control of the learning based on what is happening in the classroom that day. So it's full of assessment for learning opportunities, and it constantly builds on what pupils are learning at every stage in the lesson. We include lesson slides that are fully editable, and they're designed to give guidance and support, fully scripted with notes, and they are characterized by really rich oracy opportunities, as well as really clear modelled examples of the maths for that lesson. That third image that you can see, planning guides and task sheets. So accompanying the lesson slides, we have kind of planning guides, but also task sheets that pupils can use independently to practice the learning that they've been taught in that session. So beyond the resources for that core offer, another vital part of the programme are maths meetings, which are really designed to build that pupil fluency and oracy. They take place daily for 10 to 15 minutes. They are deliberately outside of the main maths lesson, and they provide a kind of flexible, fun opportunity for retrieval of prior knowledge that might have been taught and you want to revisit. They importantly allow pupils to develop fluency in core knowledge, as well as really consolidating and embedding prior learning. We see that in schools, this is often the most fun, popular part of the day for maths, and it really generates energy, enthusiasm, as well as building those core skills. Included in the package that we provide is a really great resource called our Ready to Progress intervention. It was awarded, highly commended in the Teach First Primary Awards, and that's designed to be used by, for example, a teaching assistant to really spot and support gaps that pupils might have linked to those Ready to Progress criteria. This is a new resource, so I wanted to include this and just share with you. We've talked a lot about foundational knowledge and the importance in the new curriculum assessment review, but also Ofsted, the idea of embedding really solid foundations in key things in primary, and your multiplication division facts are absolutely one of those things. So we've developed a kind of bespoke mini program that is designed to fit as a kind of type of maths meeting. So outside of your main maths lesson, and it's designed to systematically teach multiplication and division facts. It's for years 3 and 4. It will absolutely enable you to smash your MTC check, but way more than that. It will give your pupils a really in-depth grounding in multiplication and division facts. It's been designed to be year group agnostic, even though you would probably do it in year 3 and 4. You could use it in intervention in 5 and 6. And it's designed in that principle of a really consistent daily routine to teach times tables and not just sort of practice them, which is what we see most schools prioritizing. It's intentional teaching that then supports that practicing of multiplication and division facts. So the last, so step 4, embed. So once those foundations have been put in place, we will work with you really closely to attain that excellence in subject teaching. We provide in-school leadership and teacher coaching and offer support through school visits, joint learning walks, all of those things that we've talked about. And teachers are constantly encouraged to access our programs to develop their subject knowledge, their subject pedagogy skills through our online on-demand videos and our live webinars that we provide. Final part of our excellence program is this idea of a community of practice. You will be joining a subject teaching network, and we're really proud of that. I'm proud of the size of our network, but the way that we get schools to work together and to really share best practice, and for us to see how schools do things well across the network. And all of those learnings really support teachers, support schools, and really drive the program forward. The fifth step is that sustain longer term, and we're partnering with schools for the long term. We're not just partnering with schools for a year or 2 years. The biggest impact that we see in the schools that work with us are the schools that commit to working with us over 2, 3, 4 years. And as we saw right at the start when we looked at the example from the fraction strand, it is that sustained, cohesive, connected curriculum that is delivered in an increasingly powerful way that supports that longer term impact. And we really think about the journey that the schools are on and what that journey looks like for schools that have been with us for 4, 5, 6 years, because they need something different from the schools that are just joining us or the schools that are in the middle of that journey. So that induction in CPD that we would provide every year for your new teachers is there, but we're also providing constant upskilling of support and development for those teachers that absolutely know how a program works, but want to raise their teaching and learning even more every year. So being part of our program means you're continually part of that network. You'll have access to all of our innovations, our developments, and the new things that we're constantly providing as part of the program. And it's that sustained commitment, sustained engagement that really drives the impact that we see in the most effective of our schools. So I've kind of rattled through, I guess, what it looks like for schools that use our program, and hopefully that's given you a flavour. You've seen a video from one of our partner schools, giving you some insight into the resources of our program. I would say that if you want to find out more, obviously contact Kate at our partnerships team, but you can also scan the QR code here, and what that does, it will give you some access to actual program resources. So I've flashed up things on the screen today, but if you want to actually look at them in your own time and look at them in more detail, if you scan the QR code, that will send you straight to our program preview resources and will give you time in your own context to look at those resources and see if they're right for you. I'll hand over to Kate for any final words and to see if there's any questions that came up during that.
Thanks, Will. Yeah, I did. The only question I had actually was about resources. So I've also posted a link in the Q&A to the program preview, so you can go either way. As I said at the beginning, I will follow up with an email tomorrow. I will send a recording of the video and a copy of these slides. You will all then have my email address, so if you've got any questions about anything, feel free to ask. Actually, if you've got any questions now, feel free to unmute or pop them in the chat or the Q&A. I think Will and I will stay on for another couple of minutes just in case anybody's got any questions. If not, have a super evening, everybody. And as I said, I'll be in touch tomorrow.